Hey yo, what's up my hoopers? It's your boy Crunch Time back with another video. I hope y'all are having a great day and you're ready for another upload. Now before we get into the video, I'd like to remind y'all to subscribe, man. The support would be greatly appreciated. We're on the road to 100 subs. Let's see how quickly we can get there. But without further ado, let's get into this video, man. Today we're talking about the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, you read the title of the video. You know why you're here, man. So I mean, let's just get right into it. And first off, I just wanted to start by talking about James Harden's performance versus the Suns yesterday. He put up 38, 7, and 11 in a comeback win. And man, he was just great. I mean, let's get it very clear though. It's unacceptable for the Suns, who are up by 21 at halftime, to be blowing a lead like this. They can't be doing that, right? Especially to a KD and Kyrie-less Nets team. I'm a bit disappointed in the Suns, but I think in the second half they got a bit too content. They just took their foot off the gas pedal a bit. He put up like, I think 17 points in the fourth quarter or something crazy like that. But Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, they're going to have to do better. They're going to have to be a bit more aggressive in the second half. So it's very unacceptable for them to blow a lead like that to the Brooklyn Nets, especially with the roster they were going to the game with. But that's not to take away from Harden's performance. He was awe-inspiring yesterday. He was hitting tough shots. He was hitting step-back shots. He just looked like James Harden, man, one of the greatest offensive players in NBA history. But it wasn't only a Harden night, though. Like, obviously it was Harden's night, but it was a good game for the Nets as a team. Tyler Johnson was making his shots. Landry Shamet and Joe Harris were both making their shots as well. So Harden supporting cast definitely did their part, and they were a large part of why the team came back from down 21 and a half in the first place. So all props to them, man. Last night, great game for the Brooklyn Nets, and they continue to play amazing basketball, man. But even outside just last game, as a whole, the Brooklyn Nets have been phenomenal, especially considering everyone's reaction to the Harden trade when it went down. Everybody was saying, oh, there's only one ball. How are they going to make it work? How are three ball-dominant players? Well, I guess KD's not that ball-dominant, but he's still ball-dominant. How are three superstar players, two of which are insanely ball-dominant? How are they going to make that work? That was a stupid argument, man. I never really bought into that argument because at the end of the day, these are NBA stars, right? These are professionals. They can make it work. They did make it work, and they have been making it work, man. So I think it was just kind of a silly argument in the first place, especially since James Harden isn't going to come there and ruin what they have going. He's going to accept whatever role, as long as it's not ridiculous. He's going to accept whatever role he's given that will help the team get wins and will help the team win a chip, man. He's already put up the stats in Houston. He's already broken records in Houston, right? He doesn't really care about the stats anymore. Obviously, he's a superstar, and superstars still care about the numbers a bit, but he's not going to care about the numbers enough to kind of ruin what Brooklyn had going. And I mean, so far he's proven me right, man. He's bought into the system. He's played his role exceptionally, and as a result, the Brooklyn Nets have been looking really good so far. That's not to say that I didn't have any questions about the Brooklyn Nets. I still had questions about the Big Three's roles, which, I mean, have worked out pretty well. I had questions about their depth, which is still a bit of a problem, and I also had questions about their defense, which is still probably their biggest problem that they have so far. First of all, the roles have worked out beautifully because when KD and Kyrie are there, when they're on the court, the offense is amazing, right? Like, it's all-time levels of good. And I will say it's definitely not as stagnant as a lot of people predicted it would be. I think a lot of that has to do with James Harden playing the 1 and Kyrie playing the 2. I mean, that was a bit expected for me personally, because I'm just so used to, seeing Kyrie at the 1 and Harden at the 2. That would just make the most logical sense. But Harden has always had the ability to run the 1, and his playmaking skills are, like, phenomenal. They're out of this world, and that's been a large part of why this offense runs as smoothly as it does. Not to take away from Kyrie and how exceptionally he's run the 2. He's been one of the best 2 guards in the league for the games that he's played, the 2. So all props to Kyrie as well. But another part of why the offense runs so smoothly, again, comes from the role that Harden has taken on this team. I can't praise Harden enough for the role that he's accepted on this team. And the way that the Brooklyn Nets run Harden, it's interesting, right? Because he's running part-time sixth man, right? They stagger the lineups so that Harden runs a bit with the bench unit, and he essentially becomes the greatest sixth man in NBA history when KD and Kyrie are out of the game. And then when you put KD and Kyrie back in, they're basically a top 3 duo in the league, and they're rested and ready to go. And it just works so beautifully because you have unstoppable offensive players at all times on the court. I also want to give props to Joe Harris as well. He's been lights out from 3. He's shooting basically 50%, I think, from beyond the arc, and so that's obviously really good. Jeff Green has also been solid in the role that he's been asked to play. just in general, the supporting cast of this team isn't amazing by any means, but it hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be when James Harden was traded to the Brooklyn Nets. Defense also is still a problem though. They're currently the third worst defensive team in the league, only above the Wizards, who barely play more defense than the security guards at the Capitol, and the Kings, whose only redeeming quality as an organization is their Instagram and Twitter pages. So it's like, yeah, it's just not great company to be in. But they signed Andre Roberson, which will definitely help with their defense. So, I mean, I'm pretty excited about that. That was a great pickup for them. Another move that I think they could and should make to make their defense better is getting rid of DeAndre Jordan, man. He's just getting bullied every night on defense. On top of that, he doesn't provide much of a lob target on offense, and he doesn't really bring much else to the table on that end of the court as well. So I just think it's better if they part ways with DeAndre Jordan. I think the Nets should probably pursue Andre Drummond if that's possible, because he would perfectly fit their needs right now. He brings more paint defense, more offensive firepower, and of course, rebounding ability, and he's also a nice lob target for Kyrie and Harden, at least better than DeAndre Jordan. So I think that's a player that the Brooklyn Nets should definitely pursue and should probably think about pursuing it. As far as what they'd give up to get him, I'm not really sure. Maybe they give up Jeff Green, Landry Shamet, DeAndre Jordan, and some picks, if they even have any more of those, because, you know, they gave up so many in the Harden deal. Like, I think they give like 7 years worth of picks. So if they even have more picks, they should throw those into the deal as well. It's kind of sweeten the pot. But I don't even think that would be enough to outbid the other teams in the Andre Drummond hunt. So I'm not sure how feasible that trade is. But if the Nets can find a way to get Drummond without giving up their big three or Joe Harris, sure, they'll have even less depth, but it really won't matter. They could sign some bums from the street onto their roster. Like, they could sign me and still be the best team in the NBA for all I care. I mean, that's probably a lie, but you get my point, right? They'd be the best team in the league solely based off the defense that Drummond would offer them, because no team is stopping this offense. And if they can lock down their opponent on the other end of the court, they'll be unbeatable. So basically, yeah, the Nets have looked really, really good so far. Obviously, there are still some things that they can work on, but so far this team has looked very, 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 very good. And I think they're probably the best team in the East right now. I'm not sure if they're the best team in the NBA. Maybe that still probably goes to the Lakers, but they're definitely going to be very, very competitive with the Lakers if they do end up meeting each other in the finals. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think of the Nets so far this season? Are they the best team in the East? Will they win a title this year? Share your thoughts down below. If you like this video, then like this video, man. Check out some of my other content, and if you like that too, then consider subscribing. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's upload. Have a great day, guys. It's been your boy Crunch Time, and I'll see you next time.